Okay, well, thank you very much. Ito po si Nico Fabian, nandito naman po sa programa natin, Nico, The Real Talk with Nico. Kanina I was trying to go on live, pero medyo may technical problems tayo sa signal natin. And I was forced to stop it, and hindi bale na. Nandito naman tayo ulit, and I will make sure that this time around, second time na tayo po, we will not have some technical problems. But anyway, welcome na welcome kayo po dito sa programa natin, TikTok, The Real Talk with Nico. Ito po, programa natin is, of course, dedicated to our fellow community, Filipino communities dito sa Malaysia, particularly sa Sabah, and very specific dito sa Kota Kinabalu. At the same time, para sa lahat ito po sa mga overseas Filipino workers sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo, as well as mga Filipino migrants natin po kung nasan man kayo. And of course, this is also intended para sa mga Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas, mga kababayan, kaibigan at kapatid natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. And for you to be updated on what is happening sa Pilipinas po. Alright, two things lang po that I want to touch. First, tungkol sa fake news. Briefly lang ito po. And then we will touch about itong, still remember ang issue ng 18 soldiers po, Marine soldiers. I think 16 former Marine soldiers and 2 are Army soldiers po who were employed by former Congressman Saldico po to be ang escort po, and they claim po that they have something to do. They are the ones who delivered ang mga luggages full of, allegedly full of money, o mga maleta po na may sa loob ng mga maleta po, mga pera po, no? And they delivered it sa mga politicians natin po, sa mga politicians natin dyan sa Pilipinas po, as mentioned in the investigation carried out by ang Senado saka ang Kongreso natin sa Pilipinas earlier. So, wag natin kalimutan itong flood control projects po, dahil nakikita natin parang may nag-divert na ang attention natin dyan po sa impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte, and at the same time, although very important talaga ito din po, itong issue ng rising prices of crude oil, ang gasolina, ang diesel, ang petrolyo po dyan sa Pilipinas po. Now, that needs itong problema natin na energy crisis natin po, no? Kailangan ang gobyerno din po mas do something immediately, because it is really affecting the daily lives of mga Filipinos po, all the Filipinos po, particularly ang mga poor Filipinos po, no? Kagaya natin. So anyway, sige lang po, let's start ang program natin by itong mga fake news. I'm really against fake news po, because fake news will only create unnecessary problems to our community, to our country po, sa buhay natin po. Kaya nga, let's fight against fake news po and discourage our friends, our relatives, kung sakali they are involved sa mga fake news po, ask them to stop it po, because it will not do any good to the Filipinos po, to our country, but it will just worsen ang sitwasyon po. Filipinos, or we will be confused because of fake news. Sana po tama na ito. Why I raise this issue ng fake news po? Dahil mayroon na naman tayong mga balita po na dahil sa problema natin ng crude oil, mahal ang crude oil po dahil sa conflict dyan po sa Middle East, mayroon naman yan po, I don't know, with siguro politically motivated ito po, but I'm against this kind of news, no? Kasi sabi nila po na ang some LGUs, local government units sa Pilipinas, na they are negotiating with Malaysia to purchase itong crude oil, no? Crude oil, gasolina, diesel, and petrolyo po from Malaysia. There is no such thing as a negotiation po between local government unit in the Philippines dyan po sa Malaysia. Let me read you this news article po, which was published by legit media outlet dyan po sa Pilipinas. I am referring to ABS-CBN. Okay, nandito po ang news. The Malaysian multinational oil and gas company Petroleum and National Berhad or Petronas has denied reports of sealing a fuel supply arrangement with the local government units in the Philippines, saying it is focused on ensuring there is enough oil within its own community. The statement came after Davao del Norte Governor Edwin Jubahilb said on Wednesday that the province was in talks with a representative of the King of Malaysia to purchase about 44 million liters of diesel amid the oil crisis in the Philippines. Petronas wishes to clarify that it is not aware of nor involved in any such arrangement and has not entered into any related agreement or commitment, the firm said in a media release posted on its website kahapon po, Sunday. It said it is a focus on securing fuel supply from Malaysia. So hindi yon totoo po. Hindi yon totoo. Hindi yon totoo. Alright, ang next topic that I want to touch now is dito na naman po tungkol yon as what I mentioned earlier, itong 18 soldiers po, no? 18 soldiers na they came out and made their affidavit and alleging or claiming that they are the ones who delivered itong pera sa mga politician. Dirty money po. Dirty money sa politician po. And who knows, no? Baka it came from the flood control project scandal. Nobody knows po. But yun po ang the way many Filipino look at it. Ang sitwasyon po, ang pera is galing sa flood control projects and other sources po, illegal sources po. So anyway, nandito po ang video clip, a portion of Karen Davila who interviewed former Congressman Mike Defensor po regarding the issue because involved din po ito si former Congressman Mike Defensor po sa yun who helped or who assist itong 18 soldiers po, no, sa mga allegations nila po to expose itong what they know to the public through help from lawyers po, and they did an affidavit. So nandito po ang video clip. Let's watch and listen to this. A portion lang ito po, no? But focus tayo dito po sa interview ni Karen Davila para at least you will really know ang idea po, no? Ang issue na talaga itong tungkol sa allegation ng 18 soldiers po. Some were saying involved daw ito ni si Congressman Mike Defensor, former Congressman Mike Defensor, of which si former Congressman Defensor denied po. So let's watch and listen to this video clip po. Nandito po. Nandito, sandali po. Nandito. Alright, hold on. Let's watch and listen to this. Hold on po.
Gawin na natin talaga, no? Once and for all. Ano ba ang papel ninyo dito sa paglabas ng 18 Marines? Every single step of the way, what was your role?
Well, Karen, if you recall, when Sergeant Contessa came out, there were already talks about other former soldiers who worked with him to come out also and to talk about the issues of the deliveries, yung mga maliit na delivery. And during that time, there were a lot of retired soldiers reaching out to them, to the retired officials also part of their group. Maraming nangyari doon. And then eventually, Attorney Paligod, sometime, if I'm not mistaken, December, was talking to me about it. Sabi niya, nakakausap ko, and we are already discussing. Sometime January again, pinapanggit niya, nag-uusap sila.
Why would Attorney Paligod reach out to you? What is your relationship with Attorney Paligod?
Because Attorney Paligod also knew that I was, he knew that I was with Contessa, and and I was helping during the press conference. And you know,
Did you read the affidavits before you held them out? Because you kept saying, even when I believe you went personally to the NBI. Tama, no?
Yes.
You did say you did not take part in crafting the affidavits. Did you read the affidavits?
it was just one affidavit that I saw, which eventually came out. And then sinasabi ni Ombudsman Boying Remulla, nakita ko naman. In fact, nakita ko to, the signed affidavit, the day before it was going to come out, the afternoon before it was going to come out, I didn't have a copy. I signed affidavit. And then, nakuha ko lang yung copy after the press conference.
So is it right to say, Mike, that you actually, assisted, no? Kasi ang sinabi mo, you helped with transportation, that you
Yes.
assisted the 18 itong former ex-Marines without you really knowing who they are. You did not vet them at all. Kasi ang delikado rin dito, your name is involved, but did you do some kind of vetting process? Sabi ang mga ito, bakit sila lumabas? Sinong nagpalabas sa kanila? Who is behind them? I mean, I can't imagine just, former Marines just deciding to come out on their own without anybody of some influence, at least speaking with them after what happened to Orly Gutesa.
Yes.
What happened to Orly Gutesa doesn't inspire anyone to come out. Did you do some kind of process?
Yes. Well, of course, Karen, first and foremost is Attorney Levy Baligot. He was involved with the police case. Kilala ko yung background niya, and as I've said, Vanguard siya. Brother siya ng tatay ko, who is also UP Vanguard. And then after that, I cannot name the names, but there were retired officials involved.
So,
Meron, may mga former retired officials involved, and they were discussing about it. And prior to coming out, I met with the two who Sergeant Gutesa spoke with. I spoke with the two.
sino yun? Pakibanggit, sir. Pakibanggit.
I forgot the names eh. Basta nung nakita kami, ang sabi nila, sir, nalala mo na magkakausap kayo. Tinawagan ako dahil sabi sa akin, uy, kapitan niyo yung mga photos at mga videos na hawak ninyo. Sabi ko, nare-recall ko, kaharap ko siya, but I didn't know who they were. Sabi niya, sir, ako yun. Sabi ko, ikaw ba yun? Tapos yung isa naman sabi niya, sir, di ba sabi ni Tap na, uy, supportahan niyo ako. Lalabas ako, magsasalita na ako. Sabi niya, ako naman yun. So there were already two that Sergeant Gutesa spoke with. And what they said was actually what Gutesa was talking about in front of me when they were calling his comrades.
Okay, now the two retired officials who you say were behind, no? Is it correct, putting the 18 ex-Marines together or supporting them? Tama?
Yes. Yeah, I think
Were ano sila ba? Were they former congressmen, former military officials? Sino sila?
military officials. There were former Marine officials who I think served at some point with some of them at kinikilala nila. And sila yung, I would think, sila yung naging conduit with Attorney Levy Baligot. And also si Attorney Levy Baligot has been closely working with these officials in the past.
Okay, because what got very confusing as everybody watched that press conference, number one is the 18 ex-Marines actually, they hit on everybody. It was, nobody understood anymore what was the point of the expose, right? So you had from former Speaker Martin Romualdez to Laila de Lima to now during Duterte's time to Speaker Lord Alan Velasco to Representative Jordi Luistro. So ang tanong ngayon, teka lang, sino ba talaga? Anong punto nito? So, what is the point? What is the point?
I think, Karen, that is precisely the point. The Marines have no malice in coming out with what they're saying. Number one, I heard the report that when Boying Remulla came out, sabi niya, panahon niya ni Lord Velasco, panahon niya ni President Duterte, and I'm happy that he admitted the truth to the deliveries. I think that's the main point. As to whether it would hit Lord Velasco, as to whether it would hit the others, I cannot anymore determine Lasalde ko yung boss. Pero nung nagsalita yung mga tao na mga kasama niya na nagdi-deliver ng pera, all of a sudden they discredit. So I don't anymore know paano bang ang nangyayari ngayon, yung Pilipino, yung sambayan, nakikinig, nanonood, parang, oh nga, no, tao sila ni Saldi, and yet you do not want to investigate them. And yet you do not want to accept what they are saying. Ayaw niyo mong imbestigahan sa Blue Ribbon Committee, ginugulo na kayo ng NBI, tapos wala pa mang kaso para ng abogado yung ombudsman at NBI doon sa posisyon na pinipresenta ng mga sundalo.
Oo. Now, kasi in any investigation or in any expose, as we've seen through the years, it has to be focused, it's intended, there has to be a target and a conclusion that at least a result of a specific investigation. With the expose of the 18 ex-Marines, now it seems, who do we really want investigated? If I were to ask you now, who should the government investigate, considering that they've alleged that there are so many government officials who allegedly received money, and not all of them are exactly in the flood control scandal. You get me? Kumbaga, hindi na siya pinpointed into one specific crime.
Yeah, well, because I think precisely, Karen, what happened in Congress was that they manipulated the budget, inaayos na yung budget, and organized, no, from the program allocation to the determination of each district, kung ano man yung nangyari dyan sa budget. Tapos may mga delivery. Now, I agree with you, maaaring yung iba dito is not really exactly from flood control scandals. I do not know where it's coming from. But that has to be determined by the Ombudsman and the NBI. Now, if I may talk about focusing on the issues. Number one, there is now an ongoing impeachment case.
Alright, yan po, narinig natin po, no? Si Mike Defensor, former congressman, replying to a question from Karen Davila. Ano ba talaga ang rason bakit itong mga sundalo, they came out and exposed itong what they know po, no, about the deliveries of luggages or ang mga maleta. Let's watch and listen to the reply of Congressman Mike Defensor. Nandito po.
Okay, paano?
Alright, nandito.
Paano hindi na pag-iisipan? Yun naman talaga yung operation nila. Diba, pagka nagkaroon ng, I would think, may iba dyan eleksyon. So, bibigyan nila yung mga kasamahan nila. Pagka nagkakaroon ng break, tinatanong ko, sabi ko doon sa mga sundalo, bakit ba may binibigyan kayo sa townhouse ni Martin Romualdez? Kasi hindi ko namin na alam. Basta papasok doon yung mga congressmen, dalawa daw yung units. And from what I know before, isa lang ang unit ni Speaker Martin. Sabi ko, saan na rin pala yung kabila? Yes, sir. Pag pumasok yung congressman, dala yung envelope na dala nila, lalabas na din. And then si Speaker Martin, tatawagin sila, kumuha pa kayo ulit ng 10, kumuha pa kayo ulit ng 20. So, all these things na sinasabi nila, bakit walang motivation ng mga sundalo? Hindi naman sila kumite. In fact, delikado sila ngayon. Diba? Naiimbestigahan sila ng NBI. Mayroong mga cases na finance si kasama din ako, kay Senator Trillanes and kay General Secretary Anyo. Why would they or why would we be pursuing all this if not gusto nito mga taong to malaman ng taong bayan yung katotohanan sa delivery ng pera? Delikado sila ngayon. Yung kanilang pamilya, may tatlo doon, pinuntahan pa yung mga bahay nila. Tinatanong kung nasan sila. Yung immediate family nila, of course, natago na nila. Because we want to avoid what happened to Contessa. So, this is the first time na pinagsasalita. And ang appeal ko lang sa authorities, particularly the Blue Ribbon Committee, is pakinggan sila. Kung gusto lang Senado, sasabihin ng Senado, ng Kongreso, hindi totoo yun, harapin nila. And I can guarantee you, Karen, they are willing to tell the story and confront those they saw given money.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin. Sabi ni Congressman Mike Defensor, ang rason talaga ng mga sundalo, why they came out and exposed this thing is they just want to tell the truth to the public po, no? despite all the risks that they now are facing, no? Security-wise po sa ang buhay nila, ang buhay ng mga immediate family members nila, they only want to tell the truth. And we should be interested, especially itong mga investigating bodies, ang gobyerno po, no? Because it involves huge sum of money, no? And these are taxpayers' money. Dapat daw, sabi ni Congressman Defensor, dapat daw po interesado ang mga parties concerned when we talk about seriously investigating itong issue. Let's watch and listen to this po.
Okay.
Andito po. Let's watch and listen to this.
Diba? Yung may binigay silang pera, nagpunta kaming Ilocos, nagdadala kami kay Martin 3 times a week. Hindi ba tayo interesado na ang sabi ng mga sundalo, 500 million to 4 billion maximum. Nagdi-deliver kami kay Speaker Martin Romualdez 3 times a week. Meron pa kaming delivery separately sa Aguado 3 times a week. Hindi ba dapat interest natin ang lahat? Hindi ko alam kung saan napunta yun, kung panlaban ba yun sa politika, if it was against Duterte or not. Pero punto natin yun eh. If there is a delivery of 3 times a week starting from September of 2022 until about, I'm not sure, in 2025, yung exact date, hindi ba dapat interesado tayo na bilyon-bilyon yung pera na nakikita nila at ang alam natin at ang hinala natin dahil yun din naman ang sabi ng gobyerno galing kay Saldico na ito ay galing supposedly, allegedly sa korupsyon ng ating pondo.
Alright, may punto naman na si Congressman Mike Defensor, no? Dapat we must be interesado tayo po to really come out, check, investigate kung totoo ba ito mga alegasyon ng 18 sundalo natin po, former Marines and Army, no? Because this is a huge sum of money and apektado talaga ang bayan natin at saka ang mga ordinaryong Filipino. Now, tungkol naman po sa claim ni Senator Ping Lacson na imposible daw po na may mga deliveries po because when he computed the amount po, it came out something like 805 billion pesos po and it will take years po for these soldiers to deliver. Na contradict din si Mike Defensor, nandito po ang reaction niya po tungkol sa computation ni Senator Ping Lacson when he was asked by Karen Davila. Karen Davila po. Nandito. Let's watch and listen.
We compute
Hold on. Okay. Alright.
4 times a month, so 1 billion na lang. That's 4 billion a month. If you put it together in 12 months, that's 48 billion a year. 1 billion lang yun 48 billion a year. So let's put it at 2 years na lang, 3 years, para mas madali natin compute. That's about 48, 96, mga 130, 140 billion in total. That's only at 1 billion. Hindi, whether it's 800 billion or 2 billion or 4 billion, I think we have to really listen to them, look at the evidence, at pag-usapan ano ba yung delivery na yun. Remember, si Pangulong Erap nagkaroon ng kaso at 4 billion pesos. Si Pangulong GMA nagkaroon ng kaso at 300, yung the total fund nun ng PCSO, 360 million pesos. Ito, isang delivery, isang puno na lang. At 1 billion is already 4 billion. You're talking of one delivery in one place. If there are already 2 deliveries, that's what, 260 billion? I mean, parang sa umpis pa lang, pinapasinungalingan nyo na yung sinasabi ng mga sundalo, ayaw nyo pakinggan. Diba? Kausapin natin, harapin natin, then let's see and let's compute. Wala naman yung sa affidavit in the first place, yung 800 billion. Right?
Alright, yun po. No? May, para sa akin, may puntos din. Si Kong Mike Defensor, no? And kailangan po, no? Kailangan, maskin it involves million lang po, or 1 or 2 billion lang, or 4 billion, pera yun po, may allegation yun po, dapat i-investigate talaga po. Rather than what is happening now, even our Blue Ribbon Committee po is numb, no? They are quiet on this issue po. Now, another question raised by Claren Davila sa kay former Congressman Mike Defensor is that sabi ni Mike Defensor po, no? In reply, sabi niya, bakit every time lumabas ang pangalan ni former Speaker, now still a congressman po, si Representative Martin Romualdez, naghinto ang investigasyon, no? Naghinto ang investigasyon. Let's watch and listen ang reply to the question ni Mike Defensor on this very issue po, on this very issue. Let's watch and listen to this.
For parang this.
Alright? Nandito po. Tapos, kayo na bahala. Ha? To make your assessment or make your opinion po.
Ember, kasi nagsalita na yung mismong abogado ni Speaker Martin Romualdez that there was no basis to file cases against them. Kaya nagulat na ako. Yan naman yung hinihingi ng tao, parang kaya nagagalit ang lahat. From day one, we wanted to be transparent. Every time natatamaan si Speaker Martin Romualdez, the investigation stops. The time that he was invited to the ICI, wala, we didn't know what happened. He just submitted the affidavit. But I saw that. I read about the affidavit. Tapos parang wala na. In the committee, Blue Ribbon Committee, always they were citing yung parliamentary courtesy. That's why they didn't invite him. Wala. Walang mangyari dyan. Alam ng tao, galit ang tao sa nangyari. Up to now, since December, sabi ng Pangulo, may makukulong. Walang nakukulong. Lahat ng itinuturo, sabi nila si Saldico ang may problema. Nung nagturo na yung mga tao, in fact, sinabi ko there are deliveries to Speaker Martin Romualdez. Imbis na pakinggan nila yung mga Marines, immediately, outright lie, impossible, not true, credibility not true. Parang bang, di ba, Karen, if you file a case against a person, pupunta ka ng fiscal. If you have enough evidence na parang bang may basis, then maglalaban kayo sa korte. Then that's it's where the other side will say, mali yan, yung credibility nyo is shot or there's wrong with what yung evidence na you're presenting. Eh, dito umpisa pa lang eh. You have people talking first-hand information, they have personal knowledge, sila yung nag-deliver, may picture sila, may ledger sila, and yet from day one, stop. Lalo-lalo na pag si Martin Romualdez ang nadamay.
Hay, naku, yan po, no? Totoo naman yan po. Did you notice, every time lumabas ang pangalan ni Speaker Martin Romualdez, former Speaker Martin Romualdez po, hinto ang investigasyon. And hanggang ngayon po, no? Hanggang ngayon, what happened? Ang ICI said that wala daw enough evidence or ebidensya po to pin down si former Speaker Martin Romualdez, Romualdez po. And it is very impossible. A lot of people knows that si former Congressman Saldico will not be able to do such a big scandal without the green light or knowledge of his speaker. Because during that time, ang speaker ng House of Representatives, si Congressman Martin Romualdez po. Imposible po. Sabi nga mga tao, imposible din po na ang presidente natin is not aware po the movements dyan po sa, sabihin natin, sa House of Representatives. Pero bahala na, kayo nang bahala po to think whether posible ba ito or hindi. Puro para sa akin po, imposible din po. Walang alam si Martin Romualdez po or former Speaker Martin Romualdez. What ang grupo si Defensor wants, ang mga sundalo at saka mga Filipino po, is we want to see results coming from these investigations. no, carried out by kay ICC ba, ICI ba, by Blue Ribbon Committee ba, by the National Bureau of Investigation, ang ombudsman ngayon po. We want to see results and we want to see ang mga tao po involved dito sa scandal, no? Sa scandal po will be put behind bars. Let them pay for the crimes they did. And restitution po. Ibalik ang mga pera na wala sa atin po, ang mga taxpayers' money, because dahil sa kanila po, nahirapan ang mga Filipino at saka ang bayan natin ngayon. Nandito po ang statement made by Mike Defensor po. You listen po. You listen. Hold on po.
The justice that we're all, not only me, I think the Filipino people, lahat nagsasabi, we want to see this, we want it to be transparent, wala kaming judgment on all these things, but it has to be on record. And people have to know ano ba yung nangyari, and you have to call on the others. Ito hindi nakikita ng taong bayan, so it's not just me. As to whether we will continue the fight, definitely. I think I embody the sentiment of many of the Filipinos na nakikita na may corruption, may dapat may managot, at may pera na dapat masuli. And politically, morally, this is the correct thing to do. People should speak out, marami na nagsasalita, marami pa lalabas, at naniniwala naman ako in the end, they cannot hide it, they cannot set it aside. Eventually, lalabas ang katotohanan. At naniniwala ako, itong mga sundalong to, from Gutesa to the 18 Marines, walang motibo to, wala tong objective na kung ano man, nagtrabaho lang sila, at nakita nila na ito pala yung pera ng korupsyon na binabanggit, at alam nila yung nagiging epekto nito, nakikita nila sa mga Pilipino. From PhilHealth funds being taken, nababaha yung mga tao, maraming namamatay, ito yung mga epekto na nakikita nila. Okay.
Alright. Klarong-klaro po, no? Klarong-klaro ang statement made by a former Congressman Mike Defensor. For me, again, I would say I agree with what he just said, no? What he just said po. So, yun po ang portion ng interview ni Karen Davila po kay former Congressman Mike Defensor po when they talk about the issue of the flood control projects, specifically po dyan sa 18 former Marine soldiers po, and employed by Saldico as bodyguard ba po, as escort security ni Saldico, and they are the ones according to them, according sa affidavit nila po, they are the ones who delivered ang mga pera po, no? Ang mga pera na loob na sa maleta, no? Sa maleta. So dapat na po sa palagay ninyo po, no? Dapat na po really investigate itong issue na po, itong mga allegations. Call ang mga 18 soldiers po, and para malaman natin po ang katotohanan. So sa ngayon, we don't know what is happening sa Blue Ribbon Committee po. Wala pang anunsyo, although ang chairman ng Blue Ribbon Committee keep on saying na wala siyang problema to call itong mga 18 soldiers po. Pero ang problema dyan po kailan they will call ang mag-resume ang Blue Ribbon Committee hearing po, no? Alright, wag din tayo kalimutan po ang hindi lang si former Congressman Mike Defensor, who is fighting for the investigation of this thorough investigation of these 18 soldiers sa mga allegation nila po. Even other congressmen, senators po, no, are also shouting together with the Filipino community, Filipino people. We are shouting na dapat may investigation. Let's watch and listen to very vocal and a young neophyte congressman po from Batangas. Batangas ba yan? Yeah, si Congressman Leandro Legarda Leviste po. ito po ang statement he just recently made. Akala natin po nasa overseas siya po because he was asked, he was given permission, green light to go abroad po, no? Especially during itong recess nila ngayon po ng Kongreso. Let's watch and listen to the statement made by Congressman Leandro Legarda Leviste po on the issue. Alright, nandito po.
Ang tunay na problema ng Pilipinas ay hindi ang gera sa Middle East, kundi ang pagwawaldas ng buwis. Mahigit 300 billion pesos ang mawawala sa ating ekonomiya ngayong taon dahil sa pagtaas ng presyo ng langis. Pero dahil sa pagwaldas ng pera nung wala pang krisis, ang ating pambansang utang ay nalampas na sa 19 trillion pesos. Kaya ito ang ilan sa mga dapat gawin. Bawasan ang gastos at pigilan ang mga maanomalyang transaksyon ng gobyerno. Pabain ang VAT at palitan ito ng mga mas progresibong buwis. Tanggalin ang mga miyembro ng kabinete at kanilang mga kasamahan na nagpapahirap sa mga Pilipino. At huwag kalimutan ang flood control. Huwag pumayag na ilihis ang usapan dahil korupsyon ang ugat ng ating mga problema. Hindi man kontrolado ng gobyerno ang presyo ng langis, kontrolado ng gobyerno ang paggastos at buwis. Huwag nating hayaang lalong lumubog ang ating ekonomiya at huwag masundan pa ang oil crisis ng debt crisis. Itigil ang pagwawaldas ng pera ng bayan.
Totoo yan po. I totally agree, no? Huwag natin kalimutan din po ang flood control projects po. Until lumabas na talaga ba ang katotohanan, sino-sino po involved, sino ang mga mastermind po, and ibalik ang pera na wala sa atin po, ang taxpayers' money by the billions and trillions po. Yun po ang kailangan at huwag natin kalimutan itong issue na to. We know already po, Filipinos are God-fearing people. Ang mga Filipinos are forgiving people. But we can forgive, pero mahirap siguro mag-forget itong crime committed. Biro niyo po ang mga politicians natin whom we put them dyan po sa posisyon hoping that they will be able to protect the interest and welfare ng mga Filipino po. Sa bandang huli, ano nangyari? They are the cause of our sufferings now po. Sufferings ng mga Filipinos, sufferings ng bayan natin po. Every time we experience natural calamities or emergencies po. Okay? Mayroon pa isang video clip na mayroon ako dito po. I want to share with you po kasi medyo mainit ito po itong isang congressman dyan po sa House of Representatives. Siyempre congressman siya, nasa House of Representatives siya po. I'm referring to Congressman Terry Ridon po. Very vocal and vocal talaga siya po sa impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte. And I received some messages po and some calls coming from the Filipino community po kung sino ba talaga itong si Terry Ridon po, no? Is he a seasoned politician or congressman? Anong mga position he was given before? And paano ang performance niya po as an elected officials or politician po. Sino ba talaga ito si Attorney Terry Ridon? Yun po ang questions I was asked by mga kababayan natin dito po sa Sabah po. So, I tried to make my research and mayroon ako dito po isang video clip that I want to share with you po. Although isa lang ito, no? Isa lang ito po, and I'm still trying to research po kung mayroon pa po, no? But this incumbent congressman ngayon po, noon he was appointed by former President Rodrigo Duterte as one of the commissioners during the time si Duterte is the president po. But in less than 2 years yata po, he was removed as a commissioner dahil si Tatay Digong po was not happy with his performance because palagi yun po sa labas, no? Sa labas ng bansa natin attending mga official meetings po. Kaya nga dyan po, si Tatay Digong po decided to remove him. He was a former kabataan na barangay o sa party list ng kabataan barangay siya po, no? Noon po. And ngayon na nandito na siya po as a party list din po, no? As a party list. Sa itong video clip that I want to share with you po, para at least you will have an idea kung sino talaga he's a lawyer if I'm not mistaken, by profession, he's a lawyer. Nandito po, let's watch and listen itong video clip. Hindi ito ngayon po, this is during the time of Tatay Digong. Nandito po, let's watch and listen to this video clip. Sana yun? 211. You hold on. Hold on po, nandito po. At least you will have an idea kung sino talaga si Congressman Terry Ridon.
Si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ang nagkumpirma na tinanggal na niya sa pwesto ang chairman ng Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor na si Terry Ridon at mga kasama nitong commissioners dahil sa junkets.
Only I will fire about one commission mismo. Lahat sila, ayun. Wala pakialam kung nakisali lahat o dalawa tatlo, you have to go out. Because I do not think that it will exist without your knowledge. Bakit hanggang wala akong patawad-tawad.
Dagdag pa ng Pangulo, maraming beses na nagbiyahe si Ridon kahit katatalaga pa lamang sa pwesto, subalit iilang beses pa lamang na nagko-convene ang komisyong kanyang pinamumunuan.
Ako naman, no personal reasons really to pardon except that he had too much too soon. I was appointed September, we traveled about 7 times. And to think that the office is an urban poor agency, I cannot understand why you have to be there at every powwow in the international scene. Henceforth, I said, everybody must get the permit from my office.
Kaya naman nagbabala na rin ang Malacanang laban sa mga opisyal ng pamahalaang gumagamit sa pondo ng pamahalaan para sa mga personal na biyahe sa labas ng bansa.
I think the President has given utmost priority to running after government officials who are engaged in junketing, or for the government junketeers. That's a correct term.
Tinanggal din ng punong ehekutibo ang mga PCUP commissioners. Nilinaw naman ni Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque na hindi ina-abolish ang PCUP o inaalis ang lahat ng mga kawani nito. Samantala, itinanggi naman ng Malacanang na sinibak ng Pangulo si Ridon dahil sa naging ugnayan nito sa mga makakaliwang grupo.
Alright, yan po, narinig natin. Filed a video clip ito po ni Tatay Digong po, no. So now you have an idea, little bit an idea about sino talaga ito, si Congressman Terry Ridon po, no. Anong performance niya when he was the one of the commissioners po ni Tatay Digong. So siguro po hanggang dito na lang muna ang programa natin ngayon po, no. Ito ang mga latest developments na kuha ko sa Pilipinas, and sana maskin paano po itong mga news that I shared with you dito po sa programa natin ngayon, no, maskin paano it managed to at least let you see anong nangyari sa Pilipinas. Sa Pilipinas po. So wag na natin kalimutan, let us not forget ang flood control project scandal po. Kailangan yan po. And let's fight for our rights, and let's always remind, kung pwede araw-araw po, let's remind ang gobyerno natin po, no? That we want to see results results po tungkol itong flood control projects po, no, scandal. And we want to see ang mga tao involved dito po will be put behind bars despite the many pledges made by the government. Of course, ang presidente natin, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, and it turned out to be all empty promises, all empty promises po. And ngayon Holy Week tayo, medyo wag natin push through ang mga mainit talaga ang mga political news po. Let us focus ourselves to make this Holy Week po, no? Monday ngayon, Holy Monday. Let's make it that solemn, and let's hope and pray na itong mga tao who did a lot of wrongdoings sa kapwang tao nila po, no, they will realize during this Holy Week observance po, and they will make changes po during when we celebrate ang Easter Sunday po, Easter Sunday. So with this, Sinico Fabian once again would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye, and I love you all. You ingat. Take care.